If you need to find the schedule for them, I suggest kind of looking at the old guard's media. I don't mean social media, because there's a major disconnect for the baby boomers and older people who collect these cars to younger people who are actually connected on the internet, such as we're doing right now. What's up, people? Okay, so we are back from the All-Drains Newport Concours and Motor Week. And actually, I had a young man, a fan, who tried to find me at the Concours, but got lost in the mix with this Concours world, these big pre-war cars with all these vintage things, this high-end world, and just doesn't even know how to approach and get in and to like vintage cars as a young person. And he wrote me, he goes, "Hi Casey, I recently saw a video of you at the Concours and was motivated to ask some questions of advice." He actually tried to find me. He says, "I will lead this off by saying what I was also at the event, and that I, an average Joe, was in way over my head. I paid $30 for my ticket, but quickly realized it was only good for seeing a few Aston Martins and some expensive model cars. The cars I came to see were all gated off with much more expensive tickets required to see them, probably because of catering or something, IDK. Being from New England, I have not seen many supercars at all. It's pretty devoid of them here until recently. The two museums opening in Newport were the first time in my life, I'm 35, I have seen Lamborghini and Ferraris. I happily visit those museums several times a year to see the cars, but still have not seen many. In 81 through 87, Countach being at the top of his list. Rambling aside, here are my questions. What do you recommend is the best way to attend a Concours to get the best experience for someone who can't afford tickets that cost several hundred or thousands of dollars? 2, are they designed to keep people who, like me, who are just happy to get to see them once out? It seems like most of the people there either owned or have been around these cars a million times. I could see that if there is a lot of car sales going on and they only want qualified buyers or something, I honestly don't know. Anyway, thanks for your time, Jesse." Well, Jesse, really good question, man. And first of all, I'm really sorry you had that experience. I saw you reach out to me, wanting to get together, see the Concours, and got totally mixed up, and my heart really went out for you, man. That stinks. I actually got invited there as an influencer, as Genius Garage and all that, and I was really honored. But I never realized that you guys would want to reach out and come hang out, and I didn't know. As a note, the All-Drains Newport Concours and Motor Week, this was their first year of that event. So I hope that you'll give them the benefit of the doubt with just kind of working it out with maybe a little bit better descriptions of events and the costs and what they are in the future. So I don't know if there was a miscommunication in how they were reaching out or not. But I hope you'll give it the benefit of doubt and that you didn't have a bad experience. I think you went to what was called The Gathering. That was at the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Aston Martin was, of course, on display. Also, the new Corvette C8. There was a lot of nice vendors and things, but obviously that event is very much smaller in comparison to the actual Concours d'Elegance, which was at the Vanderbilt Estate or the Breakers Mansion. And as you mentioned, had much more expensive tickets. Frankly, I'm not sure how expensive they were because I was invited. But yeah, they probably cost a lot more. So your big questions were, it really comes down to how do you enjoy pre-war cars or super cool classics and super cool exotics without breaking the bank as a young person and fan. So let's just focus on that. Now, first of all, relating to that Concours and many other places around are cars and coffee type events. They're in practically every major city, and each one typically has some more premier events. Oftentimes those are free to just come to and look around. So maybe scope out on social media and Facebook and whatnot to find out which cars and coffees are going to have a little bit more of the types of cars you want to see. Typically those are best for finding supercars or newer sports cars with an occasional smattering of vintage stuff from, you know, the 60s or 70s, things like that. So that's a great way to do it, kind of go car spotting and find it and figure it out. If you really want to start getting into the rare, zoomy, or racing type stuff, shall we say, from pre-war through the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s, your best bet to really enjoy something like that are going to be the SVRA's race at Watkins Glen. I believe that's in September. They have a giant festival in downtown Watkins Glen, New York. You just go to the town, enjoy being around tens of thousands of people and hundreds of amazing vintage racing cars, all the way from pre-war to the 60s, 70s, whatever. There's going to be Ferraris, Porsche, Trans Am Racing, Camaros, everything. And they close down the streets downtown. The cars, you can hang out, you can walk, you can talk to the owners, see the cars. Then they start up and they all drive parade laps through the countryside. It's wine country by a beautiful lake. It's amazing. And you can literally go there with no extra money spent other than just getting dinner and fuel to get there. So that's a really neat event. Also, let's see here, the Hawk, which is a vintage race in Wisconsin at Road America, that's in July. They also have two concours. One is for street cars and one is for racing cars. I believe the racing cars one is on Friday night and the street cars are on Saturday night. And again, there's no cost to go to this event other than just driving to the town, buying dinner, getting gas, and having a great time. And you get to see all these racing cars from way back when. We're talking Can-Am cars, vintage Porsches, McLarens, whatever. Like, you know, crazy stuff. Even F1 cars, Formula One cars on the street, man. Driving from the track at Road America downtown to Little Elkhart Lake. It's beautiful town, resort town on the lake. It's fun, and you don't have to spend any money to go to that. The Genius Garage students and I had a great time there this past year. So that's a really great event as well in that sort of concours setting. If you'd like to go to an actual concours d'elegance, which is typically held, shall we say, like on a golf course or a mansion or, you know, some sort of university estate, something like this, well, they have quite a lot of them throughout the year. There's the top tier events, which you'd call like Pebble Beach or Villa d'Este, maybe the what do you call that? The Concours of America, which used to be Meadowbrook. That used to be amazing. And Audrains is, oh my gosh, Audrains Newport is up and coming. It's going to be huge. Those are going to be trickier to get to. They're going to be more expensive. And I hope you'll forgive me saying I don't actually know how much tickets cost to these because I've usually always either been invited or exhibited a car at it. And if you exhibit a car, you don't have to pay to bring your car there. You only have to pay to go to some other events. So I can't help you as much there. But there's some smaller concours that you might see at, say, like at Keeneland. That's an example down in Kentucky. I know they have numbers one through the East Coast that you should check it out. You can find out how much the tickets are beforehand to see them in a real beautiful setting. These amazing, gorgeous, exquisite pre-war cars from all around the world. If you need to find the schedule for them, I suggest kind of looking at the old guard's media. I don't mean social media because there's a major disconnect for the baby boomers and older people who collect these cars to younger people who are actually connected on the internet, such as we're doing right now. But check out Hemmings Motor News, probably has a list of concours around the country. I would also think Keith Martin's Sports Car Marketplace at some point may also have a list. Those are two great resources for you there. So give a check, do some searching, but I apologize for you already because a lot of these old guard magazines aren't very good about putting all their stuff on the internet either. So you're going to have to look, you're going to have to scout it out. But there really are plenty of great events you can have fun. Another one I want to point out, and I think this is just a grand, wonderful event. This is in Indiana. I believe it's the weekend before Labor Day, and that's in Auburn, Indiana, at the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum. And that museum is actually the original showroom from back in the 1930s. Still just as gorgeous as ever. Auburn Cords Duesenberg's on display, and they have a big weekend event where lots of those owners bring the cars, Duesenberg's, Cords, Auburn's, and they parade them through town. It's just great old school, down-home American parade fun. Nice little town. They're all parked on the square. You get to see them driving and talk to the owners. You can see the cars up close and really, really enjoy it that way. And again, you can do that for just the price of eating and getting gas to go there. So I think that's an awesome way to go. Again, with events like that, the old guard, baby boomers and older who do collect those cars primarily aren't real good about the internet and connecting. So you're going to have to, scout that out a little bit more. Probably look into some print, maybe talk to the clubs that are relating to those events and give it a go. But there's a lot of great people out there that want to share their cars. It's just that the demographics of the people who typically collect those, they're particular about where they go with them and maybe not as active as they once were in the past. So if I still had my Countach, I'd invite you to check it out. I don't. I did Genius Garage. So this is what I do nowadays. But anyway, You know, Aldrain's Newport Concours d'Elegance was gorgeous and amazing for their first year. It was really exciting to see how they were engaging all of Newport, all of the mansions, everything going on, loads of events. But man, I feel really bad. You shot me a message on Instagram that you were trying to come see me, and ended up at the wrong event, and then after you went through all the effort, found out that the concours was really expensive to get into. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm talking with the people at the Concours. They're really nice to hopefully do an event possibly in the future. No spoiler alert, nothing there, but that will involve a younger demographic of great up-and-coming car people. So stay tuned and don't be discouraged. And in the meantime, I hope we get together sometime in the future. We can meet. Since we lost that opportunity the other time, I'll of course be putting things on social media, on YouTube, as well as Instagram, and sometimes a heads up with events that I will come to. But those are kind of the events I think are going to be great for you to have the opportunity to see amazing vintage cars in action without spending any money. The SVRA race at Watkins Glen, the Hawk race at Road America in July. It's something like the Hawk presented by WeatherTech International with Brian Redmond. It's the vintage race at Road America in July. It has a really long name. Okay, they have great festivals Friday, Saturday night. Also, the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum, Auburn, Indiana. I believe it's the weekend before Labor Day. You can go all see the pre-war cars there, cheap or for free, frankly. And then I would look at those smaller Concours d'Elegances they have around the country. You're going to find the tickets are a little less money. The cars are going to be just as beautiful, and the owners are there to talk to. It's a really fun and nice time. And you can even dress period correct if you want, like I did at Aldrain's, and it's great fun. So I hope this helped a little bit. I hope we get the opportunity to meet in the future. Maybe I can, buy a Coke or something and make up for you missing me at Aldrain's. And I hope you'll stay tuned. I think that they got some great things coming up at that Concours too. So man, thank you for writing. And I hope you guys all got a little information on how to enjoy all these old cars that are hard to find. But in the meantime, that you will like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.